What is up, guys? It's Tajay. I'm back again with another video. I hope you guys are doing fine. I'm doing well. And in this video, from the title, you can see what we're going to be talking about. And I just feel like this is an interesting topic because a lot of people, well, if I'm going to go off my perspective, I genuinely think a lot of people have been getting married recently, and a lot of people are trying to follow suit in the way of marriage and trying to do things orderly in order for them to fall into the fashion of marriage. But there's also quite a lot of people that are against marriage and don't want to get married. So before we get into it, I'm gonna roll the intro and tell you guys to subscribe also, and let's have a chat about it. God, you call me by your name. The love you give me, I just can't deny. Yeah. No longer blinded, I can see you. I'm on my way to meet you. We gotta talk. So, why aren't people getting married? Well, the common reason to why a lot of people aren't getting married is a word starting with the letter D. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you know what that word is. Let's say it all together: divorce. A lot of people use the word divorce to undermine the whole marriage thing, and like they always try and say, oh, when you get married young it's a bad thing, and even when you get married in the future it's a bad thing. You lose your assets, you lose this, you lose that. And this is the thing that annoys me, because there's so much people that I know that have been married and it didn't work out for them. However, just because that was one person's experience does not mean it's going to be your experience. And this is the reason to why I think a lot of people do not follow suit in the plan that God wants them to do. Like, in other words, when God has a plan for people, they always end up doing the wrong thing and they wonder why their life isn't going the way it's supposed to go. Now, this may sound harsh, but it's the truth, unfortunately. Just because one person got divorced in their marriage or whatnot does not mean it's going to happen to you. Don't let that be an umbrella for you to think that's what marriage is, just divorce, and it's going to end up in divorce. Like, I'm sick and tired of people sitting here thinking that they can't have certain dreams or they can't go for certain dreams because one person tried to go at something that they really wanted to get at and it didn't work out for them, or they're homeless, or they're broke, or they don't have a job. But I will never understand it. Just because that stuff has happened to them, you don't know if they're going to get themselves back up and be strong and get in an even better position than they were before. And it's the same with people that were married or were divorced. You don't know that if they're going to get divorced, you don't know where they're going to go. Some people end up homeless or whatnot, fair. But sometimes people also find someone a lot better than the previous person they were with. So I get quite frustrated when I hear people talk about divorce and always like bring it up in the conversation of marriage. And it genuinely frustrates me. Because even when me and my wife were planning to get married, a lot of people were against the idea because we were obviously young. And what age was I? I was 21, she was 22. We were young. So immediately a lot of people were against it because they're like, oh my gosh, you guys are too young, divorce can happen, you don't want divorce to happen. And immediately I'm just thinking, you're just bringing negativity into the circle. And I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna answer the question to why people aren't getting married. It's simply because there's too much negativity. You speak these words of negativity to people, I'm not gonna lie, they're just not gonna do it. And I genuinely feel like a lot of people try to get into people's heads because they think the same thing's gonna happen to them. That's the worst mentality to have. If anything, be supportive of somebody's decision. Like, I remember when I wanted to start YouTube, and so much people were laughing at me. So much people were against it. I told my family that this is what I wanted to do. This is what I want to do for a lifetime. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I don't feel like I get taken seriously for it because I'm not in a position yet where I can say, yeah, I'm YouTube famous, I'm making enough money to survive this, that, and the third. But because I'm doing it on the side, it's looked at as a joke from a lot of people. And that's another thing I don't like. Just because it's not happened for me yet, a lot of people are laughing, a lot of people are watching, and just I don't know what they're expecting. But like, I know when the day comes, things will change. Do you know what I mean? But it's the same thing with marriage, bro. Like I'm telling you, when people see two people planning to get married, and it doesn't matter what age they are, by the way, the minute you bring up the word marriage, everybody's just so taken back. Like, whoa, you're doing that in today's society? Cost of living. You don't want to end up in debt. Who says I'm going to end up in debt? Do you know how much people said to me that ah, it's so frustrating because I've actually been through it, and I don't want anybody that's like planning to get married or desires to get married to think, oh, this is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Me and my wife can tell you that getting married was probably one of the best things we've ever done in our life, and we can only thank God for allowing us to be in this position we're in now. But I don't want you to get discouraged from this, bro. Yeah, but honest to God, like I've gotten sidetracked. I do apologize, but honestly, God, it genuinely frustrates me. Like so much people are like, "Oh, thank you, Lord, for giving me back my memory," so I forgot for a second. But so much people are like, "You don't want to end up in debt, bro. You don't want to lose all your money before your wedding, or you don't want to end up being broke before your wedding." I'm not gonna lie. Thanks be to God for every single person that has helped out. Thank you to my mom. Thank you to my mother-in-law. Thank you to so much people. I have so much people to thank. So much people from my church, bro. Like they did not have to participate, but because they did, things were made a lot more easier. I didn't have to spend so much. My wife didn't have to spend so much. We're not broke. You know, after the wedding, we're still able to treat ourselves like. How much people can say that they could do that? Do you know what I mean? And that's not a part to anybody that is not able to do that. But it just goes to show you, like, so much people spoke these things towards us and said, "Oh, you guys are not going to be able to do this. You don't want to end up in debt. You're going to lose a lot of money. How are you going to save up for a house, bro?" Keep the negativity. Look, I'm not gonna lie. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it. Don't bring that energy towards us. And this is why people don't get married, because people just bring up the negative umbrella, and the more negative things you talk, it just builds up in a cloud, and then that energy just comes towards you, and then you're just put off by it. That's why people aren't getting married. That's why people are sleeping around. That's why people are talking to Tom, Dick, and Harry. That's why people are talking to every single girl they can get. Women are talking to every single guy they can get. That's why people are doing all this nonsense. One night stands, all of that. That's why people are doing it, because people are so negative. If people weren't so negative, I'm telling you, bro, that like people would get married. If people didn't listen to every single thing people said, people would get married. And like my wife can even tell you, if we had listened to every single thing that people said towards us in a negative manner, we would not be married today. And I'm just gonna conclude the video here because I don't want to keep going on and on. But if you do want to get married in the future, and if you do want to get married and you've changed your mind because of what you heard people say, listen, the same way you want to do your business, start your business, or go to university, study for that degree, the same way you want to achieve things in life, it's the same thing with marriage. Do not listen to what other people are saying. Just do it. Because people are always going to have something to say when you do something that's not up to their standard, per se. So just do it. If you listen to people, you're never gonna do it. That's why I always say, like, when you want to hear from God, just listen to Him directly. When you look to the right, when you look to the left, you're gonna get distracted. You're not gonna hear from God. So on, like, you just gotta lean on. Try not to lean on your own understanding and lean on God. Focus on God. Put your trust in Him. Put your faith in Him. Have faith in Him. Sorry, and go about your day. Once you do all of those things, what people say is not going to get to you. It's just the enemy trying to put you off course. The mic cut out. But more of the story is just do what you want to do. Don't let people get in the way of what you want to do. If you have something planned, if you're following God's plan, what other people like, I genuinely believe that if you really want to do something, like from the bottom of your heart, whatever people say in your ear is not going to affect you. And I genuinely feel like, for me personally speaking, because me and my wife really wanted to get married, and we also knew like this is what God has ordained for us to do. What people were saying in our ear, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't getting to us. We got through it. It was tough, I'm gonna be honest, but you don't get to where you want to be without having any stumbles or falls. You fall and you get up so you can get stronger. So when you get to that place, you're ready for further challenges. And I genuinely believe that's what happens to people when they really want to go at something that they really want to do. So if you're going to take anything away from this video, there is always a reason to get married. I'm joking. Honestly, just go for what you truly believe in. And yeah, but I genuinely feel like the main reason to why people aren't getting married is not because of divorce. I just think it's the negativity. I think it's the jealousy from people, the animosity from people. But that's for another video. With that being said, thank you for watching. If you made it to the end, please like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. God bless you all. Stay safe and peace. Bye.